Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is your daily news update and it's not good news. It is not good news at all, is it? Liverpool are now not planning a January move for Andre, apparently, and that is according to friend of Redmen TV, a friend of ours, David Lynch. He's writing for This Is Anfield today, and he writes, Liverpool are not planning a January swoop for Fluminense midfielder Andre Trindade. The Reds have been strongly linked with a mid-season move for the Brazil international since having a summer inquiry knocked back. However, This Is Anfield understands they don't intend to join any prospective mid-season race for Andre, who is thought to be admired by both Fulham and Arsenal. Why? Why? David. Fuck's sakes. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, we've been running this lad since the summer, for goodness sakes. It's all we've talked about. It's all we've talked about. We'll be all right when we get Andre. He's the six. And I say we, and I mean me, and I mean Dan, and I mean Josh, and I mean Paul, and I mean Steve, and I mean Chloe, and I mean every single Liverpool fan all around the globe. We've had our sights firmly set on him, almost as much as we did on Jude Bellingham. And now, a mere 24 hours, not even after finding out that Fulham and Arsenal are in the race, we find out that Liverpool don't do races. They don't do races at all. We're not interested in it. But I will say this. I think it is gamesmanship, and I know they're going, "You're delusional" in the chat. I can almost feel it. If I start looking at the chat now, I'm going to see the word delusional. I guarantee it. So let's see. Scroll back a little bit. I call bullshit, says Daniel Ward, which I particularly like. Let's have a look. Oh, there is no delusional. Okay. There is a delusional. Okay, I can't find it. Well, Jake's put it in, but I think he did it after I'd said it, to be fair. So yeah, thank you for that. Listen, I know that like this is going to sound mental now and stuff like that, but Liverpool, I think, still clearly have an interest, and I'm gonna talk about this. But first of all, you will probably know by now that Dan Club does a lot of expert insights for us on redmenplus.com, and he literally spoke to a journalist, Emmanuel Luis, in Brazil last night. He's a Brazilian journalist, covers obviously football and all that type of stuff, close links to Fluminense, and we've been getting information off him for the last few months, or I should say Dan has been getting information off him for the last few months. I am going to play you a clip of what he said around about 12 hours ago from this week's Expert Insight. I'm going to play that now and we'll talk afterwards.
The most important thing right now, André wants Liverpool, but Fulham, my friend Bruno Andrade here from Brazil, he was saying, and I confirmed that. I was talking with some guys from the club, and they say to me, what? André will play for the club that make the best offer to Fluminense, right? He wants Liverpool, and Liverpool wants to play like 30 million, that amount of price that we are talking, right? In the middle of the year. But what Fulham did, Fulham said to Fluminense, okay, he has a 40 million release clause, right? You guys are not going to renew his contract, make the release clause higher. You guys won't do that. But what we want to do as Fulham, we pay the release clause, but we make you guys like have some add-on clause. I don't know how you guys say that. It's add-on, right? Yeah. So Fluminense said, okay, that's good for us, because if you pay the 40 million release clause and give us some add-on, Fantastic, because you guys don't need to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So we are going to inform André. André wants Liverpool. Okay, André wants Liverpool. But
so there you go. Andre wants Liverpool, according to a Brazilian journalist who is obviously closer there. Now, Liverpool not being in for Andre will affect that. Obviously, whether, you know, I want Liverpool to sign me, but if Liverpool aren't interested, they're not going to be interested. But one thing I do think is, and I will talk about both sides of this, whether Dave Lynch is correct, which I'm sure he has been, he's reported exactly what he's been told. And we're going to talk about if it's that way, but we're also going to talk this way through as well, because this is where I'm coming from now. And again, this probably comes back to the delusional stuff and all that. Andre wants Liverpool. Fulham are meeting the release clause for him, but have added a sell-on fee. I think he said add-on fee. We call it a sell-on fee. To go above and beyond that release clause. Andre apparently is happy, and this is something he states in the full show, is happy doing whatever Fluminense wants him to do because he's at his boyhood football club and he wants to secure the future of Fluminense as well. So that means more money for Fluminense, can be reinvested, his club does better, etc, etc, etc. But I think there's a point where Fluminense needs to show the same level of respect for Andre as Andre has shown for Fluminense. And this is where I think it's gamesmanship between the two football clubs. I think, you know, it's come out that another couple of clubs are interested. Brilliant. How did that all come out? Was it the Fulham? Was it Arsenal? Was it Liverpool? Or was it Fluminense to try and drive the price up on their player? It's normally the selling club in those instances who are trying to get the price up and up and up. Obviously, the release clause is the release clause. Now, apparently, we're talking 40 million euros for the release clause. Don't know why they're talking euros when they're in Brazil, but they do apparently. So it's 35-something million pounds, between 30 and 35 million pounds, something like that. Liverpool don't want to pay that much. Liverpool are trying to make Andre do something maybe here by saying they're not getting into a race. We've heard earlier on in the summer that, you know, we wouldn't unsettle the player during their run to the Copa del Libertadores, which they obviously eventually went on and won last weekend. Though Liverpool will probably feel slightly pissed off that we kind of had a verbal agreement that we wouldn't upset your player here, and now you're kind of saying, well, come on, there's a bid here that you need to match type of thing. And we've been there before with the Caicedo deal, haven't we, where Brighton accepted our deal, but Chelsea ultimately came in with a higher bid, and at some point you kind of go, right, look, I know we accepted your deal, but the player doesn't want to go there, so Caicedo moves to Chelsea, etc. But in this case, it might be they're just trying to get Liverpool to put the price up, and Liverpool don't want to, and they might want to force Andre, which might be not a good tactic, to be honest with you. That's the way I feel it is now. I feel it's gamesmanship, and I know just as much as you. I've seen the show that Dan did with Emmanuel. I've seen the reports from David Lynch. We're all just filling in the blanks here. Nobody actually knows what is going on in the mind of Andre, in the minds of the directors of Fluminense, the ownership there, and obviously at Liverpool Football Club. But I feel like it's gamesmanship, and that Liverpool will look elsewhere. No, not really. I feel like Liverpool will actually go in for Andre, but they are using the fact that, okay, well, we're not interested in getting into a race, we'll go and have a little look elsewhere. It doesn't feel like that's the case. There's no smoke without fire. Liverpool have wanted Andre for a long time now. The reports continue to keep coming out. Again, no smoke without fire. So I think we're going to see something happen in the next couple of weeks, but I don't think we're going to hear anything actually concrete until after the Club World Cup, which now Fluminense are a part of. So Johan Alviso says maybe we still get him playing the quiet game. Maybe. Thank you for the super chat there, much appreciated. Esther Bede says if we don't get a proper DM, it would be a massive mistake from the club. I kind of agree with that, to be honest with you. So somebody there says, so I've lost the comment, but the deal was off when you made a magnet for him. I don't know if we did make a magnet for him, to be honest, but I haven't seen it anyway. That's not saying that we didn't. We do sometimes say that it's going ahead. Mark Roberts is saying David Lynch said Jordan Henderson wasn't leaving Liverpool. I don't know if that's true or not. Algebra says, Chris, what are you wearing? It's our Christmas jumper. Come on. You've got to love that. Can you see it? I don't know whether I'm still in shot when I do that. It is our Christmas jumper, and it is a proper ugly Christmas jumper. Cop-out singing on the sleeves. We've got the tops of the gates there, obviously 6 times champions of Europe, little Santa, star. There's all kinds going on this one, to be honest. Obviously, lovely patterning down the side there. You can get that from redbearmerch.com if you want to. We are actually down to the last few sizes available. I don't think there's any small or 2XLs. So I think we've just got a few medium, large and extra large left. So yeah, you'd have to sort that out. Okie dokie. So we'll move. No, we won't move on. We want to talk about Andre still. I feel it in the room. Craig Flynn says, great jumper that. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. It's doing too much. That's kind of the point of an ugly Christmas jumper, though, isn't it? It's smashing it in someone's face. I'm a Liverpool fan. It's Christmas. Have that. Adita says, we don't do transfer sagas, we do quick action. And it's still maybe a thing that we will get this one done, obviously. There's contrasting reports right now, isn't there? Liverpool, it's in their best interest to keep the price low, obviously. Fluminense, it's in their best interest to keep the price high. If you've got your heart set on a move to Liverpool, would you go to Fulham? I mean, they're clearly looking for a replacement for Paulinho. Is Paulinho going to get that move that he so desperately wanted in the summer? He may well do. David John, who's been a member for 20 months, says David Lynch reliable, not since about 2018. You know why? He's got. I really like David and respect him. And this is the thing with journalists, I suppose, more than anything, is they've got their links into the football club. Sometimes they get used, and you know it's sorting the wheat from the chaff, isn't it? I suppose in that instance. But David clearly has ties, clearly has sources, or Anfield insiders is maybe the term that he would use. If he's being told that, it's kind of his duty to report it. And you know, if you get played, then it's not nice, but you kind of. There's not much you can do about it, is there? Especially if you use it. It is massive money we're talking about here, so would it surprise you to know that clubs use journalists like this? Probably not. Ilonatic says, I thought the release cost was 40 in the summer and 20 in January. Did I mix that up with someone else? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think there was an in-season thing, wasn't there? I'm not 100% sure. So no, I don't know. Journos like being used. They're weird that way, okay? Martin Marumu says, I don't think the deal is off. I believe we're still talking with his agents or club in secret. Alum369 says, I have no fear, lads. It's all part of a tactical plan. We have to say we're not interested, or else Chelsea would swoop in to sign him. Oh, God. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, we'll park the Andre stuff for now. We don't have about 15 minutes on him. So we'll move on then, and we've got a Luis Diaz update first and foremost. So Luis Diaz's family have demanded proof that the Liverpool star father is still alive, nearly 48 hours after the guerrilla terrorist group agreed to release their hostage following the withdrawal of Colombian troops. So yeah, Liverpool star Luis Diaz's family have demanded the kidnappers holding his father hostage offer proof he is alive as concern about their failure to release him grows. The left-wing ELN insurgent group so far failed to make good on its promise to free Luis Manuel Diaz, despite saying at the end of last week it was working on liberating him as soon as possible. Obviously, I think now we're at the position whereby, you know, they've agreed if the Colombian troops are withdrawn that they would actually release Luis' father. That still hasn't happened, so they're asking for proof that he's alive. The only thing we can say here is you'll never walk alone, Luis Diaz, of course. We hope for a speedy recovery from this point onwards. Obviously, it's not going to be a speedy recovery from the start of this. And we just hope that our player's father is okay. And to be honest, that this type of shit just stops worldwide. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Like, so yeah, horrible. Hope Louis and his father and his family are all okay. Got a lovely little goal here to play for you from Mateusz Musolowski from last night. Have a look at this absolute perler. Obviously once called the Polish Messi. Here he is on the ball. Lovely little 1-2, drives towards the box and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. What a finish that is. Let's have another look at that one. Let's start it again from there. Look at this. Lovely little 1-2. Brilliant. Great touch. Bang. Oh, that is a beauty. I don't really want to talk about it. I just wanted to show you it, to be honest. That's probably enough for that one. James Pearce says the door is open for Gravenberch to return to the Dutch squad ahead of the Euros after talks with Koeman and de Jong. The young midfielder has been in excellent form in recent weeks. Okay. I've got quite a few opinions on this one, unsurprisingly. First of all, I think when you take it back, obviously, was it the under-21s that he refused to play for when he just signed for Liverpool? That first international break, he didn't want to go away. He wanted to focus on playing for Liverpool Football Club. And I remember sitting here at the time saying, that's quality. That's exactly what he should be doing. Because ultimately, if he doesn't get into the Liverpool side, if he doesn't give 110% for us, he ain't going to be getting back into the Dutch squad. And I thought it was absolutely bonkers that Reisinger, the under-21s manager, didn't see it like that, and he took it as a slight on him. And every young player should want to play for their... Of course, every young player wants to play for their country. But he's taking a long-term view. If he gets into the Liverpool squad, what puts him in the best position to do that? Integrating himself at Liverpool Football Club gives him the best thing to do. And it's brilliant now that he's proved all of those people in the Dutch national team wrong, because they were fucking short-sighted and stupid. He's got into the Liverpool side, he's playing good football, and now the door's open for the full Dutch squad, even though a couple of weeks ago they were saying, oh, he'll never play for Holland again, and yada, yada, yada. Swivel, mate, because you know he's a good player, and he's proved he's a good player, and he's proved you was wrong. Swallow your pride, put him in the squad, take him to the Euros, and watch him do his business. In your face, Netherlands. Algebra, hats off to the jump lad. I want one now, even when I live in the tropics. Trust in the system, the team. We may have a gem waiting we don't know about. I am interested to see actually where it leaves someone like a Stefan Bajcetic. Obviously, we're flipping back onto the other story about Andre now, and I understand that. And obviously, Twitter's head's going to fall off if it's ever on long enough to fall off, I suppose. But I think, for me, look, we need a six. We know we need a six. We need someone. Is it a destroyer? Is Andre even a destroyer? I don't think he is a destroyer. I think he is a very good six in a very interesting tactical side in Fluminense. Obviously, I keep threatening to do this sort of video on relationism, the football tactic that their manager is really, really sort of the pioneer of now. If you think of like maybe a sort of just a line up and down, and you've got Guardiola at the top here, and Guardiola's tactics are all ordered, and it's all set plays. You take up spaces here in the half space. There can be no more than 5 players across each zone and no more vertically. And that's how Guardiola does his tactics, right? And I wish I had a board to be able to show you and draw you this stuff. And everybody has a space, and no one can go into another person's space because it fucks the pass map up and all that type of stuff. Relationism is the opposite of that almost. So right at the bottom of this line here is pure chaos, and in that regard, that is what Fluminense do. They overload players into the areas, create these passing lanes that the way the Guardiola plays don't exist, and it's all about movement in relation to each other. And so you can have 3 or 4 players in and around each other, and you're trusting in this sort of 1-touch, 2-touch football, 1-2s, give and goes round the corners, all that type of stuff. And what it harks back to in the South American game at the moment is the way that they've grown up playing football. Now, in England, we grow up, and in Spain, and in all the European countries, we grow up in systems. We play 4-4-2. We learn about space, and we learn about where we're supposed to be. Guardiola wants his players to know, well, if I'm in this zone, there's always going to be a player in that zone. Don't need to think where the pass is. Don't need to look where the pass is. The pass is going over there. In relationism, in Brazilian football, on the streets and the favelas and all that type of stuff, it's dribbling. dribbling, it's one-on-ones, it's going with the flow type of stuff, and that's what they're bringing to their game, and it's why Fluminense have been successful, won the Copa Libertadores. It is a completely different style of football. It's the anti-Guardiola of football, and where I'm going with this is that Andre is part of this system, so he's the 6 and he's got a job to do, but he'll find himself in an 8, he'll find himself on the wing. Think of, like, remember when Sheffield United's centre-backs were up the pitch? That's the type of stuff that this team does on a daily, weekly basis, and they train it into them. It's total football, exactly. It's total football with music, says Neverman is here. And so this is the type of thing. So this is what he wants to be able to do. And this is what he is able to do. So he's not a 6, sit in the middle, sit there forever, destroy things. He is so much more than a 6 because he's been playing in this system. And I think about this football tactic a lot. And this is why I've been planning this sort of deep dive show on it with Josh, is that I see elements of this game in what Jurgen Klopp has been doing this season. You know, how many times have you seen us this season on the edge of the penalty area with those little 1-2s and those movements, and Curtis Jones wide on the left, Curtis Jones wide on the right, the forward swapping places, but somebody always filling in somewhere. And I do wonder whether Jurgen ultimately is seeing bits and pieces of this football tactic and maybe integrating it into what he's doing, and he might see Andre as the key to be able to really sort of bed this down more over than what we've been doing in these little glimpses that I've seen, and that's why I think that he will absolutely always be everywhere at the top of Liverpool's list at the moment. So yeah, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but you got me talking about something that I'm really interested in, so I hope you are interested in football tactics in the way that I am. That was Gravenberch, was it? How the hell did I get back from that? Okay, we'll move on to something nowhere near as interesting as relationship football tactics. Calvin Ramsay has opened up on his injury blow for Preston North End. He suffered another knee injury at the start of the season. He's now back. He played 45 minutes in there. I think it was a 2-1 defeat to Kidderminster Harriers. So hopefully the right back is able to get into the Preston team moreover, and then ultimately get back into the Liverpool mix, as it were. The chat just wants to talk about Andre, and so for anybody who is interested and who's maybe just joined late and stuff, David Lynch has come out and said that the Andre dealers off Liverpool aren't interested. We spoke to a journalist not 12 hours ago from Brazil who's saying that Andre only wants Liverpool. If you want to hear what he's got to say and you want to hear more about the David Lynch stuff, you can either check his article out on thisanfield.com, or you can watch the start of this video where we go through it, and then we play the video from obviously our thing from last night. So there you go. Nathan Weiss says, deal off, was it ever on? I believe so, and I still think there's a chance. Lee, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that one. I see your comment there. I'm not putting it on the screen because I feel like a bit of a whopper doing that. There is another player we've been linked with, actually. Now, this is one for you, Joe, because I'm just reading straight from the agenda here. But Spanish outlet Mucho Deporte said Liverpool are one of a handful of Premier League clubs interested in signing Real Betis midfielder Assane Diao. 18-year-old has continued to impress for the La Liga outfit this season. Signed the new deal, keeping him at the football club till 2027. Chelsea, Newcastle, also names that have been mentioned. If we take a little look at Assane Diao, though, on my laptop this time, you can see here that he's a left winger predominantly, right-footed, can play up front, can play on the right-hand side. 18 years old, got a good goal and assists thing going on this season. Good goal thing going on this season, not assist, sorry. 1 goal in 3 Europa Leagues, 2 goals in 6 La Ligas, 1 in 1 in the Copa del Rey. 6 in 14 in total. Obviously, 18 years old, young player. Interestingly, friends of ours at Anfield Index said a question on whether he could be the answer to Salah's succession. So Liverpool's radar locks on Real Betis sensation Assane Diao. He's an emerging talent, apparently, with a meteoric rise. We move further down. They are obviously majorly focused on the numbers. It's where they excel themselves. So they showcase some of Assane Diao's numbers there. His non-penalty goals, he's ranking in the top 2%. In his blocks, top 1%, which is quite interesting. A statistical powerhouse on the pitch, they say. Has attacking prowess, is a master playmaker, and his defensive contributions is where he also shines as well. So really interesting stuff there from Anfield Index, and obviously you can read more about it over on their website and stuff like that. So yeah, really interesting. Obviously we'll monitor that more if anything else comes out in terms of Assane Diao. Another story we've got for today is Al Ittihad have sacked Nuno Espirito Santo as Liverpool are bracing themselves for more Mo Salah transfer interest. I don't think this story's ever going to go away until he leaves Liverpool Football Club or hangs up his boots, whichever is first. But it will not be Nuno Espirito Santo who's managing them, apparently, when they go in for him again. He has been sacked after a poor start to the season. Not really sure what to believe about the Mo Salah stuff. Obviously, Jurgen, I think, has said quite a bit on him recently. You can see here about the saga. Jurgen Klopp said last week, I don't know anything about an offer whatsoever, but it's important. Mo is here. It's not important. Sorry, Mo is here. Mo never came to me and wanted to go. I don't think a second about it, to be honest. Should we or not? Yes, he is here. He feels extremely well. You can see he's enjoying the team a lot. The other stuff I never thought about, and I hope I don't have to. Excellent stuff. Absolutely brilliant. So Mo Salah doesn't want to go, apparently, according to Jurgen Klopp from last week. He's never mentioned the move. He seems happy, but we will have to brace ourselves for more world record bids, I am sure, in January. And then that £10 million is going to seem really small that we need to pay the extra for Andre if we're still interested in Andre. Pluck says Mo has a good 5 years left in him. Hopefully. Hope Mo stays for a year still. Fingers crossed. One more story, actually, which again I can't show on the screen, but Italian teams are apparently eyeing up Thiago. His contract obviously ends at the end of this year. We're not going to be renewing it. For Hayes, believes a return to the land of his birth, because obviously he was born in Italy, could be on the cards due to interest from Inter Milan and Juventus, the old lady. So yeah, makes sense, I suppose, doesn't it? He's going to go somewhere. I kind of always thought it would be Saudi Arabia, but maybe not. We shall see. Maybe it could be Italy. Final story then. Premier League have put a news article, a statement out. It says, League gets the backing of Margaret Aspinall for launch of education resources to help children understand the impact of tragedy-related abuse. They've put this out. Obviously, they're talking about how we, alongside clubs, the FA and NFL, continue to treat offensive tragedy chanting, related chanting, gesturing and displaying of abusive messages as an unacceptable issue, and we're committed to working together to address it as a priority. New, tough measures were introduced at the start of this season, which mean people who are found to have committed offences face stadium bans and potential criminal prosecution. I don't remember seeing the article that said 5,000 Luton fans have been given bans. Do you? No? Interesting. Then they might not be dealing with it as well as they think they're dealing with it. But flip side of all of this is part of the package of measures announced at the start of the season, the Premier League will launch education resources to help children understand the hurt and the impact of negative behaviour, such as tragedy-related abuse. From Monday the 13th of November, this in-classroom lesson will be made available to more than 18,000 primary schools and 60,000 teachers in England and Wales as part of the Premier League Primary Stars programme. Did Scotland opt out, or is their education just done differently? Why is there no mention of Scotland? They've just gone, we think it's fine. It's absolutely fine. No, I imagine they have dropped out. Maybe their teaching's done differently. I don't know. Let me know if you're Scottish and you're wondering why they're not in there. Liverpool, the resource, is supported by Liverpool supporter Margaret Aspinall, obviously former chair of the Hillsborough Family Support Group, whose son James tragically died at Hillsborough. She has done a video for them, and some of her comments I'll go through now. Football brings so much joy to so many people all over the world, but there is no need for people to be chanting in the way that they do. The pain it causes is unbearable. We do not deserve to hear these chants. They hurt just as much as losing your child. If you hear that chanting, go to a steward, report it through the proper authorities. You can change things. Anything that offends or hurts anybody is never acceptable. So there you go. The word, not my words, the words of Margaret Aspinall. Imi, thank you very much, mate, for joining us. Please do a deep dive on relationism. It's so interesting. I will do. I keep putting it off because I don't feel like I know enough about it, and I need to research it, and I want to watch more Fluminense games and stuff like that, and really understand fully exactly what we're talking about. So yeah, interesting stuff, really, I suppose. Oi. There you go. That has been the news show for today. It's Wednesday, the 8th of November. The Andre deal is apparently off. The Andre deal is apparently on. If you want to watch the full show with Emmanuel Luis, then you can go to redmenplus.com, use the code EXPERT. It'll give you 50% off 2 months as a monthly captain. So you'll pay around about £3.50 for the first 2 months of your subscription. The full show's on there. It's absolutely brilliant. It really, really is. He talks. There's at least another social clip coming out of it. He was superb, and I think if you are like me and you're thinking Liverpool really do want him, then you should probably get in and have a listen to the show or a watch of the show, because you might just feel a bit better about things. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate everybody, Juan, David, Isti, Algebroy, other people who've joined us as members or super chatted us. So yeah, everyone who's commented, liked, of course, appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so very, very much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. The season is now well underway. If you need extra Red Men content, be it podcast, videos, documentaries, interviews, and general shows, fill your boots on redmenplus.com today.